Hello and welcome to another update video about BNB. BNB has so far been holding the support area. I mean, it hasn't broken at all. This support box that I mentioned in previous updates haven't covered BNB for a while because literally it's just been moving sideways, as BNB likes it to do sometimes. It's a bit of a boring coin at the moment, but holding support at the moment and one more high is, in my opinion, a reasonable interpretation and expectation. In this white scenario, the white wave count, what we can do, we obviously have a very clearly defined ascending trend line here. We can copy that trend line, add it to the low points here to see if it provides us with any guidance of where wave 4 should finish. But the parameters are pretty clear. The problem is, this is not an impulse to the upside. We're dealing here with a diagonal pattern. So I'm looking here at a wave 1, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, possibly another high in wave 5. And obviously these coins, these charts, they can always fail after 3 waves, but as long as support is holding, I normally just follow the trend. And from an analysis point of view, as I said, as long as we're holding the support, it's a reasonable expectation that one more high should form. Obviously, another low in this support area could form. I mean, we've got a bit of a double bottom there, nearly, but it's actually made a slightly lower low. So that's good. We're going to talk about the micro count in a minute. But it has to be a diagonal at best. In a bearish interpretation, this here is a B wave top in the red scenario after an A wave bottomed in October. So it's just a 3-wave move up. Of course, I have to consider it could be a B wave top. The thing is though, because, well, this here would be an A wave, this would be a B wave, this would be a C wave, but because it has reached perfectly the 138% extension of this move, I rather consider it a 1, 2, 3. A third wave, ideally in crypto, reaches that level in a diagonal. So that's all good. That's why I'm slightly prefer the white scenario there. It's a pretty ugly move up. Nevertheless, let's just copy that trend line over to see if we can generate a parallel trend channel. And it might provide some guidance of, where it might form a low. The problem is, where do you put it, right? So it's a bit subjective, obviously. If I use the lowest, or not the lowest point, but the one that still works, basically we are just about where a low should ideally form. And let's see if it will react. Obviously, it's reached the 38.2 retracement level of the third wave. That's $288. It actually respects the Fibonacci support, which is good. That gives some confidence that indeed we might see that fifth wave happen. What would be a first resistance that needs to overcome to suggest that indeed a low has formed in wave 4? Well, it would be a break above the recent high here at $322. And better would obviously be a break above 338, but then we're already in wave 5 territory. And the wave 5 minimum expectation would be basically one step higher than the third wave, so $364. But reality is, if the 1.38 is reached in a third wave, it's usually the 1.786 or the 200% extension, basically $383 or even $409 that are reached in wave 5. In terms of, again, we've got a trend line there. It's not well defined, so I wouldn't be surprised by a break. If it has to make another low, we're dealing with $274.70 as support, and then $261.60. It's just that below 261, as I said, things are going to start to break down. You normally don't even want it to break below the 50% fib level, not even in the fourth wave of a diagonal. So I know there are analysts who talk about a wave 4 and a wave 1 have to overlap. That's rubbish. They don't. Okay, so it's just, especially not in crypto. Also, what we can do is draw the trend line here. Yeah, and that would be an additional breakout signal if we can cross that trend line. I'll highlight that in green. Maybe a bit of a breakout point there. And in terms of microstructure, I mean, that's always tricky. That's really tricky with these corrections because what's more relevant than the actual microstructure, it's typically just the fibs. But this could be an A wave, this could be a B wave. And yeah, I mean, the C wave down, yeah, it could be finished, right? It would be a short C wave. It would be a short one, but it moved below the low of the A wave. Normally what we want is that a C wave reaches the 100% extension of the A wave. Well, we're not there yet, but it's not a must. Typically, the first level you're watching for is the 61.8 extension, but that's normally a very, very early target. That was here at 292. I mean, round about there it reacted, but yeah, I'm not entirely. See, it could be because of these wicks that maybe the A wave did sit. The A wave actually did sit here, and then this is some kind of a weird B wave. But therefore, the microstructures are not so relevant, not in corrections. I think we could argue the low might be in, but obviously we haven't got the confirmation. So I told you the breakout points. I think the earliest signal we could get that we are breaking out would be a break above the trend line and then that B wave high. Okay, that's my update about BNB. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.